Hey everybody out there, this is Seto, and today for you guys we are going to be doing a deck profile of my hero deck. Yes, this is vanilla heroes, by the way. So if you guys haven't been paying attention to the channel, over the last couple of weeks we have been doing different hero deck profiles. We have done D Heroes by Astro Phoenix. We have done Neospatian Heroes. Now we are doing Vanilla Heroes. Eventually we will get to Evil Heroes. I love all this different sub-archetypes of heroes, but we're working bit by bit on each one of them over the past weeks and the coming weeks as well. But today for you guys, we'll be focusing on the vanilla heroes. Now, I remember a time long ago when the pyramids were very young still, back when heroes were not good. People joke all the time, what do you mean heroes not being good? Well, there was a time, and I remember those times, and it wasn't, that was before the days of Stratos, that was before the days of evil heroes, that was before the days of a lot of things, and people joked if you played a hero deck. Not so much anymore, but I love the fact that even after all that time, Konami's gone back and given all the different sub-archetypes of heroes their own support, which is really awesome. And today for you guys, we have the vanilla heroes. We got Elemental Hero Avian, Elemental Hero Bastinatrex, Elemental Hero Sparky Boom Boom Man, get that reference please, but Elemental Hero Sparkman, and Elemental Hero Clayman. He apparently does not have an alternative artwork. I don't know why. They need to make one. Unless I have missed it. I have literally never seen one, except a secret rare, but they're exorbitantly expensive for no reason. But yeah, we run the vanilla heroes, guys, all of them. They are going to help you in your extra deck go for a multitude of your different fusion monsters. Like most of your extra deck is going to be fusions. It's pretty much an all-hero extra deck, which is really cool. But the cool thing also is because these are vanillas, you have to keep that in mind. There are other cards you could run in this deck that you could not run in another hero deck usually, because these are technically vanilla monsters, which is something to keep in mind. So keep that in mind as we get into the deck profile. But yes, let's keep going. So next we're running a 3 Stratos because we're running Airblade Turbo. That was a bad reference, but I never thought I would see the day when Stratos would come back to 3 of. Alas, it has come after all these years, it feels like, and we are running 3 Stratos in the deck because he's going to help search out all your basic needs, and if need be, pop back row. But I doubt that will happen. Next up, we run 2 Elemental Hero Solid Soldier. Solid Soldier in most builds is a one-of, I will say that. Because this deck is more focused and predicated on using polymerization, per se, I find that Solid Soldier is more of a 2-of than a 1-of I like. And it's up to you to decide the ratio, personally, but I like 2-of Elemental Hero Solid Soldier in my build of this deck. Pretty straightforward there. We run double Shadow Mist. Shadow Mist is still good even nowadays, I feel like. Even with Stratos at 3 of, it's still good, and it'll give you a sub package of engines where you can use the mass changes, which is really cool. So definitely versatile in all its different uses as a searcher, as adding mass change. It's definitely a staple 2-of, I feel like, in most hero decks nowadays. I think people consensusly agree upon that. Because Stratos is at 3, but still a good card. Next we run 2 Vision Hero Vylon. Vylon's going to be used for a multitude of different things, be it sending your Elemental Hero Shadow Mist to grave, or sending your Vylon to grave. Excuse me, not your Vylon, oh my gosh. Your Malicious to grave as well, which Malicious can be used for a multitude of different things in this deck, per se. It can be used for a lot of link fodder, fusion fodder, things of that nature, which is cool. And Vylon also is going to be useful with polymerization. Like I said, this is probably one of the few hero decks where you're running actually triple polymerization, and for that reason you can use these other cards that utilize polymerization. Solid Soldier, Vision, things of this nature. So keep that in mind actually when you are looking at the ratios and their other effects, which they're good, like you would use them in other hero decks, but in this deck they're heightened, so to speak, those effects. 2 Mali. Konami, can you put this back to 3-of, please? I would be eternally grateful as a hero player to see this back at 3-of. I'm looking forward to that day. But 3 Destiny Hero Militias, excuse me. Staple 2 of in this deck. It's going to be useful, like I said, and easy to get to grave to set up, but it's going to help you with link plays and basic fusion plays as well that require a hero, as well as deck thinning. We run a lot of one-of heroes. We run one elemental hero, Honest Neos, which, if you guys are not familiar with what Honest Neos is, if you're not a hero player, it's the fusion between Honest and Neos from the unaired season of GX, apparently. We run one OG Bubble Man. I have an Ultimate Rare, but I keep him in the binder because I don't want that thing to get damaged. I used to run it back in the day, and it's still in good shape. So I just run my rare First Ed one I have. And then we also run one Elemental Hero, Liquid Soldier, which is kind of like the new aged Bubble Man, I guess you could say, in some regards, which is a basic one-of in this deck for helping you do a bunch of different cool little tricks and plays, I find. So this is pretty much some of your just one-of basic heroes that you're going to be running in your deck. So the last things we run in the deck is, because, like I said, this deck is predicated on using polymerization, is we're running 3 King of the Swamp. King of the Swamp is very good, even in 2021, in some decks out there, I find. Even nowadays, it's quite amazing how this card has aged over time, be it a Blue Eyes Fusion, Hero Fusion. It's aged very well, I feel like. It's kind of weird to say because of its versatility. You can either pitch this card to graveyard to search out your polymerizations that you need, or you can use it as substitute fodder for a fusion, which is really nice as well. For this reason, because of certain fusions that you can go for in the extra deck, it's a staple 3 of in my estimation, I feel like. Next up, we run 3 E-Call. We are a Elemental Hero deck, so this is going to be one of those things where, yeah, you're going to run 3 E-Call in this deck. It's not where you're running some Elemental Heroes, so you run it as a 2 of or 1 of. No, this is a Elemental Hero deck, thus you're going to be running 3 E-Call. That's pretty standard, I feel like, especially in this build of the deck. We run 3 polymerizations. I was debating what artwork to run, but I decided to go on this artwork. I ran 2 of the ones, which are pretty much the one alternate, the original OG artwork, and 2 of these versions. I was kind of debating, honestly. That was probably when creating this deck, that was the hardest thing to figure out. What artworks do I run? But 3 poly in the deck, I find, is very, very staple. Because of how much you're going to rely upon polymerization compared to other hero builds of the deck, where you have alternative ways of fusion, be it contact fusion with Neospacians, be it D-Hero with its own personal fusions, etc. In this version, you're more focused on the polymerization itself. That's why we're running King of the Swamp, and you're running these different ratios. But 3 poly. In addition to that, we also run 2 Miracle Fusion. I'm always more of a fan of running Miracle Fusion as a one-of in certain hero builds because of its ability to be searched out by Elemental Hero Sunrise nowadays. But the fact of the matter is, this is an E-Hero build. You're going to have things engrave. You can use Miracle Fusion. It's mostly going to be more alive, I feel like, than any other build. So that's why I like it as a 2-of. If you're more inclined to run it as a 1-of, be my guest. Next up, we also run 2 Mass Change. You do have a lot of targets for Mass Change, comparable to maybe some other decks besides maybe a masked variation of heroes, because you're pretty much running all the good ones. You're running Dark Law, you're running Divine Wind because you run a lot of winds, you run Acid because you run a lot of waters, you run Diane because you run some Earths. So for those reasons, I find that Mass Change is a staple 2-of in this build, hands down. If you want to run Mask Recharge, you can go down that route if you wish, as a 1-of tech option to reuse this if you want to go down that route, though. But for me, in the variations, it's just a good card to bring out other fusion variations. This is the tech option that initially, when I was building this deck, I was not running. And that's 2 Elemental Hero, two Favorite Hero and 1 Skyscraper. This was something I wasn't running initially. I'll be honest, I wasn't. And I was literally watching some deck profiles. Dark Arm Duelist, I'll give him a shout out here because he actually inspired me to run this. I was running Infinite Impermanence in this deck. And I was like, I mean, that's cool. That's neat. But I want something a little bit more OG for this build. So if you want to, you can take these 3 out and run Infinite Impermanence. But for the nostalgic factor, for the fact that this actually is a pretty decent thing to run in this version of the deck, I decided to say, why not? What do you have to lose? So you may be asking, what does favorite hero do? I'll read it to you very briefly. Equip only to a level 5 or higher hero monster. If you control a card in your field zone, the equipped monster gains attack equal to its original defense. Also, your opponent can't target it with card effects. That's pretty neat. At the start of battle phase, you can activate one field spell directly from your hand or deck. That's pretty good. You can only use the effect of favorite hero once per turn. When the equipped monster attacks and destroys an opponent's monster by battle, you can send this card to the graveyard. The attacking monster can make a second attack in a row. That's why you see running Skyscraper as a one-of. Now, like I said, it's a little gimmicky because the fact is it has to go on a hero fusion. It can't go on a vanilla hero. But I found through playtesting the ease of which, let's say, to go for a hero in your extra deck is fairly easy. So I like this ratio of 2 of these and 1 of the Skyscraper. So it's really fun. You think it's gimmicky until you try it, and I found that it was pretty consistent. So shout outs to Dark Arm Duelist. He made me run that because literally I'm just like, I love this. I love this. I love this. And I was trying to, like, I was working with this deck in December, actually. I was just like, and then I tried it again in January, and I was like, okay, I'm going to run it. 1 Oversoul and 2 Unexpected Die. These are some of your vanilla support. Now, you do have ways of abusing your, Miracle Fusion, your vanillas and everything, but I found that I really liked teching in the 1 Oversoul as kind of like a monster reborn for your vanilla monsters because of the ease that they're going to be in graveyard. You're going to be using them for different fusions. It's a tech option. You don't have to run it. You can run something else if you want to. But I like running the 1 Oversoul and the 2 Unexpected Die. It's really easy because you can be able to, it's pretty much going to Cyber Dragon out your vanilla monsters to help you go for fusions, which is awesome. And so that's why I like it in the deck. And plus, with the King of the Swamp, it gives consistency to some of your fusions as well because of the ease of bringing things in and out and then using the King of the Swamp as a substitute with the polymerization, etc. So I like this ratio of just vanilla support here. It's pretty good. Next, you can run Fusion Deployment if you want to, but I like Unexpected Die in this build because we're running vanilla heroes in it. Otherwise, I would probably run that, just if people are asking. For your other stuff, we're running 1 Rhoda. We are a warrior-based deck. We run Rhoda because of that reason. 1 Foolish Burial. You have Mally, you have Shadow Mist, you have other targets that you can set up for Miracle Fusion plays. You run Foolish. And 1 Monster Reborn. Why not? It's Monster freaking Reborn. And like I said, if you wanted to run traps, you could run Infinite Impermanence and play around with your ratios of cards, but that's all for the main deck. Let's get on to the extra deck now, which is super cool. This deck is so fun to play. I love it. It's very nostalgic for getting your game on. We're running the freaking Duel Links token. I don't know why, but I just am. 1 Elemental Hero Sunriser. This is going to help you search out Poly and is very useful. 1 Elemental Hero Grand Merge. I like this card a lot. I love the artwork of this card, by the way. And we also run Elemental Hero Absolute Zero for blowing up the field. 1 Elemental Hero Flame Wingman, which is nostalgia to its core. And we also run 1 Elemental Hero The Shining, which is really good as well. And also 1 Elemental Hero Shining Flare Wingman, which is pretty easy to go for, I find, in this build of the deck. Now, you may be asking, where's, Thunder Giant, where's this, where's that hero? You can run, the beauty of this deck I love is you can pretty much run whatever freaking heroes you want to in your extra deck, which is cool. So if you want to run Thunder Giant, you run Thunder Giant, my friend. But this is what I'm running. It's been working out pretty well. 1 Masked Hero Darklaw. 1 Masked Hero Divine Wind. I have thought about running the other one, but I like Divine Wind a little bit more. 1 Acid, which is pretty good. 1 Diane, which is pretty good. Vision for OT Kane, and just not OT Kane, but clearing boards, etc. Not OT Kane, forgive me, I forgot his effect for a second. Elemental Hero Nebula Neos. This is very easy to go for. Don't discount that this is just a Neos card. It's easy because it requires 1 Elemental Hero Neos, which you have. And then some other cards, but you can easily substitute into this. It's something I've thought about taking out, but I like it right now. 1 Extra Hero Wonder Driver, 1 Extra Hero Infinite Driver, and also 1 extra hero, decimator, excuse me. So that's the extra deck in a nutshell, guys. Like I said, it's pretty straightforward. This deck is fairly straightforward. You can play around with the ratios of your vanilla here, you know, what you want to run in your extra deck fairly well, I find. This is what I'm running. It's pretty basic, I feel like, because I really like Shining Wingman, which is really cool. And I've always wanted to build this deck, but I just didn't for a long time because I was like, oh, it's the vanilla heroes. I had that bad taste like I was talking about in the beginning from seeing them be played back in the day and just playing against people that had that. And I was like, this deck is just a laugh. But I feel like over time they've given so much indirect support to this sub-archetype of heroes, so to speak, that they are definitely a playable deck now, which is so awesome. So I hope you guys all enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a big thumbs up. Remember to get your game on, guys, and I'll see you guys next time. Good luck dueling to all of you. And remember to like and subscribe to the channel for more awesome videos, guys. I'll see you all next time. Good luck dueling to all of you.